How's it going, Capricorn community? Oops, so Tigress here with a special story for this wonderful frequency. So let's get started with this introduction. Some key words here is loss, denial, life changes, never seeming to stop, questioning why everything has turned out the way it has, unmotivated because nothing seems to work out, tired of not having enough. And Capricorn frequency, just to let you know, Dharma is here, and Dharma is universal law. So as always, we have called in the angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy to come on in and be the guides and protectors of all the positive messages that need to come out for this story. So let's go ahead and dive into this introduction here. We have a lot of cards already coming out, and if you were able to see, a lot of these cards have a purple hue to them. Purple is all about your third eye chakra, third eye energy. And when it's out of balance, it's lack of sight, it's poor imagination, it's nightmares, and low concentration. So we have something here that we're definitely stuck, things that we can't see past. And the first message that came out was, have faith in your dreams. Things are still possible when it comes to partnerships with people, places, and or things. With that new moon in Libra, talking about how we balance out things that we love, things that we really want to come into fruition. But the whole thing is, don't be confused. Powerful changes have to happen. Powerful changes have to happen behind closed doors, in the dark of the night, not just always in the light of the day. And the whole thing is, a lot of times we fight the adjustments that are required, the things that require us to change in order to change our circumstances. And this is something that you're at odds ends with, is making those adjustments that are required. And it's because maybe you lost sight of believing in the impossible. Maybe you're confused that things can still happen for you from today to tomorrow to even 5 years from now. Just know it's not too late. And the biggest message here is surrender. Surrender this. Surrender what's going on. Surrender yourself to the divine. And this is why Dharma is here. Dharma is the universal law of things, and usually when Dharma is here, karma is here as well. So things have been building up from the past until now, whether you recognize it or you don't recognize the very things that have built up to this moment. Yes, there are times where we don't make the best decisions, feeling like we are making the best decisions at those moments. But when you start to evolve, when you start to grow, you start to see the folly in some of the decisions you were making, being young and dumb, even being closed off because you were too worried about trying something different, doing things differently, leaving old friend groups, leaving toxic places that you really don't belong in. So we're going to go ahead and start with this introduction to get a more in-depth feel. Now, I do have the Lonely Dreamer Tarot here. So this tells me that the Capricorn in this story is really feeling out on their own with some things. Not feeling like they have somebody to lean on. Not feeling like anybody understands them. First card that was doing some tricks is the Ten of Wands. carrying the burdens every single day, the burdens of the conflicts that we don't see a way of putting down. And this is a part of the adjustments that are required. Judgment. Too focused on everything that cannot happen for you. Everything that you feel like you're not good enough for. Everything that you feel like you don't deserve because of how everything has ended up. And this could be something that you surrender to the divine so that you can have a rebirth on. With this death card, Scorpio energy, this talks about transformation through relationships. So what you need to surrender has to do with others, whether it's how others treat you, how you treat others, or how certain things in your life on your journey has affected others. And right here I'm pointed to this King of Cups. Having a little bit more of a progressive view when it comes to surrendering things, seeing that things can be different, seeing that you can fulfill yourself by being able not to let go, but to surrender it. Something that you're not seeing is how holding on to all this stuff is keeping you stuck. And that's confirmed by this Eight of Wands, keeping you stuck, not feeling like you're able to invest, to have this stability that you're always wishing for, the stability in the relationships in particular around you, whether with co-workers, whether with family, whether with partners, whether with even our children. Something else we're not seeing is this Knight of Pentacles. Somehow we don't feel like we can have this, we can journey to it, and we're really confused on everything that is being revealed at this moment. What I'm hearing is the cat's out the bag on a lot of different things. And what you're finding out is how tore up from the floor up this cat that came out the bag is. It's really making you question so much in life. This is a metaphor for how things have been going for the past few months for you. How you've worked so hard in some areas of your life just to have them end up a certain way. And it's not the way that you were hoping, not the way that you foreseen it, say 5-10 years ago. And we have also this Page of Pentacles that comes in reverse. This could have to do with how you started things from a younger version. It could have to do with somebody who is younger than you. But there's a lot here that's being revealed. A lot that's being revealed when it comes to your stability, when it comes to how you've showed up for others, but also how others are showing up in the decisions that they're making that is affecting you as well. Oh my goodness. This is why I feel like this has to do with a lot of others, Capricorn. This is why I've chosen the Friends Tarot deck for the block here. So I feel like we're going to get a little bit more diving into this block a little bit sooner. So angels, angels, angels of protection, help guide us and keep us safe as we navigate this block here. What is it that needs to come out for the block? Ooh. All right, so definitely things are feeling very tricky right now. And the first thing that comes out for this block is this Knight of Pentacles energy. Now almost an upright, still confused. The whole thing is you're not giving yourself permission to move forward. Right now, you've given yourself permission to stay stuck. A lot of times to have stability, we have to move towards it and we have to start to create it. And right now, staying hung up in everything that you believe with a certain type of perspective that you have, this judgment, wearing the burdens, whether it's on you or in front of you, is what has you so stuck. I feel like in this conflict, feeling like nothing can change. Now also with these burdens comes the Lovers in reverse. And you know what's interesting about today's day, which is Wednesday. Wednesday is thought to be thrown back to Gemini and Virgo energy, because what it is an old, very old calendar. What they did is they took each zodiac and they broke the energies down into the hours and into each day. So for Wednesday, again, it comes down to communication. It comes down to how we're thinking as well. And right here, this is how we think about the relationships around us. This is also how we've communicated in those relationships around us, or we haven't communicated. A lot of times we can hold back how we really feel, and Capricorn energy tends to do that. They really distance themselves from how they feel because they could view it as a weakness. But right here, we need to go in, we need to explore some of this stuff. Something else we're not seeing is the Three of Wands, our outlook, how our outlook has taken us from one point to another. Just know you have time and you are allowed to change that outlook. Changing that outlook doesn't make you fake. Even though we know plenty of people who go around saying that they will never change. You never change, then you always stay stuck dealing with the same people, same situations, same scenarios. Over and over and over. What changes directly are the people that were dealing with it. So say you have the same thing that, and this is just an example here, say you have a child, and say that the father, the mother of your child brought in a certain energy, and now that you've been away from this person for like 5+ years, now you're facing that same energy with the child that you made with them. That's because throughout these years you never healed that, you never confronted that energy. You still let it flow the way it was through the actions, through you feeling like you had to make other people happy by not speaking up. Another example is dealing with the same thing from management. Going from one place and having a manager treat you one way, then going and getting into another place and having a manager treat you the exact same way. All you did was move places, but you never changed the way you viewed things. You never changed the way of how you let people treat you, type of thing. And this is really, really expressed here again with this Page of Swords here. Not sure how to handle other people's attitudes, maybe how to handle the way other people handle you with the way that they talk to you. Then we have the Six of Swords, and that has really left you stuck, not able to go off into healing waters, not able to explore why is it the way that they treat you hurts you, and it leaves you stuck. Just kind of stuck, looking at everything, not able to move, not fulfilled either. Remember, we teach people how to treat us. The young ones to the old ones, we teach them how to treat us. And maybe something here that haunts us, that has to do with us not raising these boundaries, not finding the strength not to give other choices on how they treat us. But it's all about the way that we move. Capricorns aren't doormats. I mean, if you put a Capricorn in a position where they love you, like they authentically love you, they will be patient and they will put up with so much from you. But on a sense, if they don't love you, they're not a doormat. They will never be your doormat. But again, through their love, through their dedication, through their loyalty, Capricorn is one to let a lot of things slide for the ones that they love. And it could almost put you as a doormat for people that you are really intimately close with. And that doesn't mean just on a sexual level. This means that people who you really hold close and sacred to your heart. And sometimes it's hard to upset those people for Capricorn. It's hard to say how they really feel, because sometimes those people will use that against Capricorn, as if Capricorn says something, then they're going to go off. They're going to leave. They're going to abandon Capricorn. Be careful. Be careful. Don't let others capitalize on your loyalty. With this Nine of Swords, you have to start making choices. You have to start reconfirming who you are, where you want to go, the type of relationships you want, and how you want people to treat you. Because if not, you're going to stay going around in your thoughts, upset by what these people do to you. Whew. This is a lot, Capricorn. This is a lot. All right, so we're going to ask divine and universal energy to help us out with this conclusion for Capricorn. So I have the butterfly here for life changes. And see, something about this Nine of Swords is it talks about how a lot of our choices could lead us to our demise, could lead us to chaos. And here you need to take action for yourself, action in seeing the rippling effect of the patterns of the past and how it puts you in the position that you are in with these people who are trying to walk all over you, and seeing again that you have a right to take action. You have a right to follow your intuition. You have a right to be able to see those possibilities again, to know that your dreams can come true. But you really have to start with adjustments and being open to change. If people can't respect you, respect your boundaries, respect who you are, then you have to surrender them. You have to surrender them, and whatever they want to do, you gotta let them do it. Just know you've been dealing with a lot of adult children. A lot of adult children who capitalize on shutting you up. I'm just gonna say, because look at that throat chakra color right there. They don't want you to have this confidence in speaking up. They don't want you to be able to go off and volunteer yourself in another direction. Maybe volunteer yourself to something of a higher power. Remember, the name of the game here is to get closer to our seed from the divine, that higher power that puts us, in the light of love, in the light of compassion, in the light of healing and moving forward, opposed to staying stuck. But the whole thing is, the divine, Dharma, karma are not all going to grab you by the hand, Capricorn. They're not going to do it until you need to come this way. This is something you have to voluntarily do yourself. Oh, let's see what else needs to come out. Divine and universal energy. So, a part of confronting this Page of Pentacles energy, whether it has to do with you from a past time or this has to do with a younger person that's around you, is we have parental care in reverse with a lot of solar plexus energy. And then we have grief work in reverse as well, with a little bit of sacral and root energy. Or I'll say more sacral than, or more root than sacral, excuse me. So right now you have things that you've made choices on that you're feeling either bad for, you're feeling like you failed. And this is what's causing you to have low self-esteem, feeling like you have a lack of control, creating more insecurities. And it's making you stay stuck more to where you're not able to make decisions. You're procrastinating on stuff. And the thing is you have to know no person's perfect. Nobody's perfect. And we're all going to make choices. We're all going to make choices that are wrong at times. And sometimes it takes a year, it takes 5 years, it takes 10 years, it takes shit hitting the fan to start to recognize how the pattern of some of those choices are issuing out karma now. And that's okay, because that's a part of you waking up. That is a part of you wanting to make changes. That's a part of you wanting to grow. Do not criticize yourself for starting to wake up and open your eyes to everything that has been happening around you. Grief work. That is something that is paired with all of this. It hurts when we look back and we see certain things that we failed upon. It hurts when we look back and we feel like we didn't show up enough. It hurts when we start to see our faults and things. But that is a tool that we can use. All this pain is a tool that we can use to help heal ourselves, to help want to do something different, to help set different examples, to help to be there in different ways. But it's kind of like, again, you have to volunteer yourself to start to work through it. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to be upset. That's a part of cleansing. What's not okay is to stay stuck there. But again, everybody has their free will. Open up to doing this grief work, letting it all out. What I'm hearing is it could be talking to somebody about it. I always suggest therapy, counseling, whether it's with a psychologist, a therapist, a church counselor. But the thing is here, Capricorn, you have to do the work. You can't just show up and think that's good enough. No, it's time to do the work so that you can heal. All right. Last two cards here. Right here. I think this is going to hit home for some Capricorns here. Something you're at odds ends with is family changes. The only free will we have to govern is our own free will. And it hurts when others make choices with their free will. That really makes us question so much that we've done in our lives. Now, this is a part of that grief work. This is something you're at odds ends with, but this is something that you need to surrender to the divine. And remember, other people have their free will. That's their given right from the divine, no matter what age they're at, because this could be an adolescent, this could be an adult, this could be somebody who is an elder, but everybody has their right to their free will. It's hard when they make choices that hurt us, but we can't take it personal no matter how much we care. Something else we're not seeing is self-employment, being that entrepreneur for yourself, that entrepreneur for healing, that entrepreneur for learning how to spread your wings a little bit differently, being that entrepreneur that can go in the direction of where there's fruition and still growth, because there is still time. Just because stuff is hitting the fan right now doesn't mean that time has ran out. It's just Dharma, universal law, pushing you into a point along with the divine to not really give yourself choices. They don't want to give you choices because you've chosen one way for so long and it's kept you stuck. Now they want to put you between a hard place and a rock so that you will make only one of two choices. And as always, the divine, universal energy, your ancestors, your spirit guides, your angels, they all want you to progress. They all want to see you move forward. They want to see you be able to reach those dreams that you've dreamt about before. But again, it takes surrendering that chaos to help bring balance into our partnerships. But a part of that is creating these big changes, really big changes, and not losing the faith when shit starts to hit the fan, when we feel like we're failing. Part of cleansing out again is doing the grief work to help give yourself a new way, a new evolvement from seeing what you've put up with others into what you deserve to put up with. But at first it comes at getting progressive development as well into how you really feel about things when it comes to these others, when it comes to these adult children who want to leave you hung up and believing that nothing is possible for you anymore, that this is all you get. That is a lie, and the divine says that you do get more. But again, you have to find the strength to get up and do more. You have to find the strength to climb those steps of healing, find the strength to go to the light, to do the work in the shadow side of things so that you can see the light. Alrighty, Capricorn, thank you so much for your time, your energy, and your patience. And as always, I hope that you have a most wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.